I was somewhere deep in the back roads of the Midwest, the kind of stretch where the trees lean close to the highway and the radio crackles into static. It was past midnight. I had been driving for hours, too stubborn to stop, even though my eyelids were heavy and my gas gauge hovered dangerously close to empty. The night felt wrong. The air was thick, almost oily. The stars above were barely visible through a low-hanging mist that clung to the earth like a second skin. That's when I saw it. A flicker of neon through the trees, faint, flickering. I slowed down, squinting through the windshield. An old rusted sign read, Marlene's Diner, open 24 hours. The building looked abandoned. The windows were cracked, the roof sagged, but that neon light kept pulsing like a heartbeat. I pulled into the gravel lot, tires crunching loudly in the silence. Only one other vehicle sat there, a beat-up old pickup truck with flat tires, covered in a thick layer of grime. It looked like it hadn't moved in years. I hesitated. Every instinct told me to keep driving, but exhaustion and desperation are powerful things. Inside, the diner was bathed in a dim yellow glow. The jukebox in the corner warbled some old country tune, barely audible under the buzz of fluorescent lights. The booths were cracked and patched with duct tape. The counters were stained and sticky. And standing behind the counter, motionless, was an old woman. She wore a faded pink waitress uniform. Her hair piled into a brittle beehive. Her eyes were pale, almost cloudy, like she was looking to me rather than at me. "Take a seat, Han," she said, her voice raspy and unnatural. I swallowed hard, forcing a smile, and slid into a booth by the window. Outside, the mist pressed against the glass, thickening as if trying to get in. The waitress shuffled over and dropped a menu in front of me. It was a single laminated sheet, yellowed with age. There was only one item listed. Special of the day. No description. No price. "You'll want the special," she said again, more firmly this time. Before I could answer, she disappeared into the kitchen, the door swinging shut behind her with a groan. Left alone, I looked around. The walls were covered in black and white photographs. Customers smiling wide, forced smiles, too many teeth showing, eyes dull and lifeless. And behind each group, always the same waitress, standing just out of focus, grinning wider than should have been possible. The jukebox crackled again. The lights flickered once, twice. The kitchen door creaked open. The waitress returned, holding a steaming plate. She set it down with a wet thud. It looked wrong. Grayish, lumpy, something oily seeping onto the plate. The smell hit me a second later, metallic and rotting, like meat left out too long. I tried not to gag. "Eat up sugar," she rasped. I forced a laugh, trying to lighten the mood. "I'm not that hungry, actually. Just needed a place to rest for a bit." Her smile faltered. Her face twitched just once, like a glitch in a broken video. "You ordered," she said quietly, "and you will eat." I slid out of the booth, heart pounding. Maybe I'll just grab some coffee and hit the road. I turned to leave, but the door I had just walked through was gone. In its place was a solid wall, covered in cracked yellow wallpaper. Panic flared in my chest. I stumbled backwards, knocking into the table, sending the plate crashing to the floor. The jukebox screeched. The lights overhead dimmed until the diner was soaked in a dirty, flickering gloom. From the kitchen, I heard footsteps. Not one pair, dozens. Heavy, dragging, wet. Figures began to emerge from the shadows. The customers from the photographs, now standing in the diner, their faces grotesque imitations of human smiles. Their mouths gaped open, leaking black ichor. Their fingers were too long, curling like claws. They moved toward me in jerky, unnatural motions, their bodies twitching with every broken step. Behind them, the waitress stood, watching, her smile stretching impossibly wide. "Once you come in, sugar," she purred, "your family." The figures surged forward. I ran. I bolted through the diner, searching for a back door, a window, any escape. I stumbled into the kitchen, a rotting, cavernous space filled with broken appliances and hanging slabs of unidentifiable meat. Flies buzzed in thick clouds. There was a door at the far end, half rotted, barely hanging on its hinges. I threw my weight against it, slamming through into the night. Except it wasn't night anymore. It was nothingness. A vast, endless void stretched out before me. The diner was floating, isolated in a sea of black. No trees, no road, no stars. Just cold, crushing darkness. I turned around, and the diner was gone. So was the door. I was alone. Or almost. The faint sound of the jukebox started up behind me, that same broken country song. Getting louder, closer. I ran. I ran into the dark, the sound chasing me, the grinning figures somewhere just out of sight. Some say there was never a Marlene's Diner, that it burned down decades ago after a string of disappearances. But truckers still tell stories about a neon sign that appears on foggy nights, offering shelter to lost travelers. Those who stop, they're never seen again, except maybe, if you look real close at the right photograph, you'll see a new face in the background, smiling, just like all the others.